Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to an impromptu live stream on Christmas night. Housekeeping duties to start with. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Leave me a comment in the comment section on the side, I guess it is here. Let me know that you can see me or hear me, and we will be good to go. Let's see. We have Donnie was the first to comment. Welcome, Donnie. We've got Ken. Merry Christmas, everyone. Donnie saying Merry Christmas to Ken. And Ken saying, thanks, Donnie. And we've got Ken saying, hello, Andrew. I can see you and hear you perfect. We are good to go. As always, make sure that you leave a comment to let me know that you're here, because it's nice for me to know who I'm chatting with during the course of the stream. So let me know that you are here by leaving your comment in the comment section. That way I know exactly who I'm talking to, who's participating, and I know that you're here. We have 5 people watching, which is pretty good for a Christmas night, I think. So welcome. I've got my tea, Earl Grey, hot, in my Vulcan Science Officer cup. No, I don't have the Picard mug. I don't have the Picard teacups yet. I'm tempted, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But for now, I've got my normal live stream Vulcan pointy-eared Science Officer cup with lots of Earl Grey in the teapot just over there. So I think we're going to be good to go. All right. Tonight, I'm going to be doing some merry masking. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas, merry masking. And we're going to be working on moving our way in on the saucer section of the 1400 scale Enterprise E. So I'll go grab her off of the bench here. Bring her on over. Smash the base into my keyboard. Service I provide. So here she is for you to see. But let me pop over to the bench view. And there's my face up there in the corner. And you can kind of see what's been going on so far. The outer ring is done. This secondary ring minus the very front is done. And then we've got this nice little panel section in here. In fact, I should zoom this in a little bit for you so you can see the multicolored work on the panel here, which I think turned out really, really well. Now, I couldn't use the masking set to do the multicolor thing. We'll talk about that as we move on, but I just wanted to give you a close-up look there. Ken says, Andrew, did you get any models, Star Trek stuff for Christmas you would like to tell us about? Well, no, I didn't get any models. I did get some stocking stuffer stuff. So a couple of Star Trek ornaments, an Enterprise B, one Star Trek ornament, Enterprise B, and then one Galaxy Quest Protector Hallmark ornament. And then I did get a new cup. I don't have it on stream tonight, but it's got the refit on it, and then as you pour hot water in it, it goes to warm. So that's kind of cool. I'll probably bring that onto a stream at some point. But no new models to show off, but I've got a pretty hefty stash of models here in the shop, so it'd probably have to be something fairly unique for somebody to go, oh, I should get that. All right. Okay, so here's where we're at on the Enterprise E so far, and this is the last ring that I worked on, and I got it painted just before having to go do a bunch of family Christmas stuff a couple days ago. So got back into the shop and got it all demasked, and it turned out really well. So if you look on the studio model, there's multicolored stuff going on in those sections. So to get the multicolored patterns, I couldn't use the masking set. Plus, I'm having a hard time getting the pinstriping to lay down with the masking set. But that might just be an end user issue. Let's see. We've got Skull here. Welcome, Skull. He says, Merry Christmas, all. And then Ken in reply. And Skull in reply. Sometimes I wouldn't normally put all the back and forth, hey, everybody kind of comments that are just in the chat. But sometimes I just get into it and I'm reading it as I'm clicking it on the screen, which probably I should read it before I click it on the screen. But you never know. That's the way it works sometimes, right? So tonight we're going to be working on probably getting this section, and these sections up here masked off, because I'm probably going to paint that all in one foul swoop. So I'll get this, and this. I won't get that done tonight. I won't get it all masked off tonight, but those are the sections we're going to be working on. I'm going to take you over to a really cool shot of the studio model that I have here. Let me prep that up. And that's the studio model, which is one of the only photos of the studio model I have under different lighting, because most of the pictures I have are under the bright California sun. And so it's really hard to see the coloring. This one's nice because the lighting is different. So it gives you a different perspective on the studio model. And what you see here, so I've already done these. Oh, you can't see that because my face here is in the way of the mouse, but I've done these sections, which have the same kind of two-tone pattern. I've got a little bit more contrasted on the, let me just switch back here, on here, than what it is on the studio model. But that just might be the resolution of the pictures on the studio model. I'm trying to do this a bit more toned down, contrast-wise, versus the last one I did as per the request of the client. So working on that. But yeah, let me fade back over to the studio model here. So we've been able to reproduce the multicolored pattern going on here fairly well. And here's the thing. The masking set is great if you're able to get it laid down properly, great. And if you're able to, if you're just sticking to one color Aztecs, they're great as well. But I've discovered that it is the multicolored Aztecs, so I'm trying to reproduce that. So for some of the sections, we're just not going to be able to use the masking set, and that's just because of what I'm trying to accomplish with the model. But yeah. All right, let me go back to the chat, and I really should star these when I've read them. Ken says that paint job's looking amazing. Thanks, Ken. William Nelson is here. Merry Christmas to all, and Ken is replying there. So yeah, and I've started, so I know where I've left off in the chat. That's important. So we are going to try to reproduce this section here, and the upper section here seems to be a little bit lighter than the section down here. So we'll see how that goes with the paint color scheme, and see if we can kind of reproduce that as best we can. But the first thing that we're gonna have to do is deal with all of the pinstriping. We're gonna have to mask off in between the panels, and we're gonna have to mask off the pinstriping. And honestly, I can cut the tape straighter than what the cutting machine can cut the pinstripes on the masks. Just variance in cutting machines, right? But with a straight edge, a metal straight edge, and a very sharp number 11 blade, I can get those like super straight. So there is a bit of a benefit to using the tape. So we're gonna get working on that tonight. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, go right ahead and leave them in the chat for me. Ken says, I think I'm going to try the 1000 Aztec dummy set for the refit. Yeah, I haven't done much with the 1000 scale refit. I did build the 537 when I was younger. I remember the pylons being a huge issue with that. And I built it, the lights and sounds version, which is on the box top here. Let me switch over to full face view, and the box art for the one I did is right here. It's the Lights and Sounds kit, the old Lights and Sounds kit. It's got the paneling on it that you don't want. I didn't know any better when I was a kid. So, did build that one, but I haven't done the 1,000 scale, which is it must be tiny. It must be tiny doing the refit at 1,000 scale. But yeah. And I haven't seen the masking set for it. So, but Lou's masking sets are good, so you shouldn't have any issues with it. And good on you, Ken, for wanting to paint it, because I think paint just looks better than wallpaper decals. So, all right, we've got Todd in the chat. Welcome, Todd. And if you decide that you want to hop on and join, you're very welcome too. And everybody just saying hello to each other. And then Donnie says, I built the 1,000 scale refit and lit it. Of course you did, Donnie. If you're going to build a Starship, you're going to light it. I've got the tiny the first ship we see in Discovery Season 1. I bought the ship because I'll build Starships, right? But it's pretty tiny. But I'll whenever I get around to doing that, I'll light that one. If I ever get around to that one, I guess. Todd says, I can't tonight, heading up to see my mom and sister here in a bit. No problem. Well, thanks for joining for as long as you're able to join tonight. It's probably going to be a bit of a quieter night because it is Christmas night and people have family responsibilities. I've got young kids. They're in bed. So that's why I'm able to kind of do this tonight, because they are in bed and they had a tiring day. I mean, as soon as they were allowed to, they demolished their presents. I've got to say, they don't get their gift wrapping. I mean, their gift opening sensibilities from me. I open things slowly and meticulously. So they didn't get that from me. They just tore into their gifts. It was a madhouse. And then, of course, they're spending all the evening playing with it, right? So, well, all day playing with it. So, playing with the stuff. All right. So, I'm going to de-zoom on this a little bit. Don't mind me while I reach up and de-zoom a little bit, mostly so I can get the ship in frame a little bit better. And I'm going to quickly check, because like I said, I'm just going to move my screenshot over here so you can see it. Let me get rid of my face so you can see all of it. So I think we're going to start with the pinstriping on these front sections, and then we'll move our way back into the sides. And it'll be a nice little easy go to get started on these ones here. And then it gets a little bit more complicated as we work our way back. So that is going to be the order of operations for the pinstriping tonight. All right. I've got my tape. I've got my straight edges. I need the longer one here. Let's get started, shall we? Ken says, any Star Trek for the children? No Star Trek fans as of yet, but they're still like 8 and 4, so no sci-fi fans here yet, but we'll see. All right. I've got some garbagey bits. Oh, you can't even see this. Okay, let me move this over a little bit so at least you can see what I'm working on here. I've got some garbagey bits here, so I'm gonna just give a fresh cut on this piece of tape. So I'm starting out with a nice, fresh, straight edge. All right, so this little bit of garbage will go away. I don't have much left on this piece, so I'll be replacing that pretty soon. And there's the garbagey bit that was left there. Of course, it's sticking. All right, here we go. Donnie says, my granddaughter has a TOS Enterprise. Wonder where she got that. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Get them into building young, right? My daughter is more interested in science-y stuff than she is in modeling stuff right now, which is fine. Where are you going to start introducing them to Star Trek, TOS? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, each kid is going to be a little bit different because they're different kids, and there's some challenges too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just scrolling through my pictures looking for a good close-up of the very front there because it's cut off a little bit. And okay, this picture here, I'll show it to you. It's very bleached out in the California sun. Wow, we've got 10 people here on a Christmas night. Wow, that's incredible. So this is bleached out, but it gives me enough to be able to see how the pinstriping works here. Because I couldn't remember, but it mimics exactly the area above, directly below. So that's what we're going to be reproducing. I'm going to be leaving that open on my screen. And I'll just let you see what I'm working on. Now, a little bit of a trick with this. To get this all aligned perfectly, I'm going to cut off the very end of this because it's a little bit janky from being on the end. There we go. If you look at the studio model photo, let me throw that back up for you. These lines here that go up, these two, like there's this section and this section on each side, and then the big section in the middle, these lines are perfectly aligned. So we are going to run these lines straight up and keep them perfectly aligned here. And then we'll chop them in the middle. We've got Dennis here in the chat saying Merry Christmas from Halifax. Welcome to the stream. Do you guys have a bit of snow in Halifax right now? Let's see. No Mega Bloks Enterprise for them to play with. I haven't seen any Mega Bloks Enterprise. And it's too bad that Lego doesn't have a license for Star Trek. Donnie says, Maddie, my granddaughter likes to watch Prodigy. Thanks to Todd, I am just watching season 2 of Prodigy now. I think I'm about 4 episodes in. I mean, it's not my favorite Star Trek in the world, but it's Star Trek and I want to watch it. So, yeah, very cool. All right. Like Discovery, there's some design choices with Prodigy, some design aesthetic choices that I'm not the hugest fan of, like how big the sets look, how big the Starship sets look. but that's my personal opinion. And I have no say in it, right? Go. I'm gonna run the next one right up. Just like this. Keep it as straight as possible. The bottom's a little wonky. So let's straighten that up. Like so. And Todd says, glad it's working for you. Yeah, it's working out really well. I haven't had a chance to really dig in to see what's available. Dennis says, we have a lot of snow in Halifax. First white Christmas in a decade. Oh, wow. First white Christmas in a decade. I would have thought being on the water that you guys would have loads of it. We're right on Lake Ontario where it meets the St. Lawrence. And we get lake effect snow quite often. So 2 years ago, it snowed Christmas Eve, and we ended up with 3 feet of snow overnight. So a good chunk of Christmas Day was just digging out, literally. I've got photographs of the cars just piled on with snow at that point. Donnie says, Project D was made to get kids into Trek. Yeah. Hey, Mrs. Canadian Starship says, are you having fun? Yes, I'm laying down lots of teeny tiny tape and talking with lots of people. All right, let's chop this off. Like so. All right, we'll do the others. Nope, I need to get the third line in here. Let's do that first. This one's going to be closer. Go. Try that again. Oh, it stuck to my finger there. There we go. Now the trick is getting it lined up, getting everything to look the same on the other side. Go. All right, rinse and repeat on the other side. Try to get everything lined up the same way. Oops. There we go. I'm not sure if I've got enough length on this piece, or I'll have to cut the next one. To do the next piece. Take that a bit lower there. Yeah, that does it. Just like that. Okay. And actually, I'll use this little piece to connect these. Donnie says your wife watches your streams, Andrew. That's cool. My wife isn't interested in watching. I have no idea. She might just be checking out to see what's going on. See what's going on, see how many people are watching, that kind of a thing. Who knows? There we go. Join the bottom. Same on the top over here, which you can't see because it's now out of frame. Let me move this a little bit for you. I need to lay this down with the tweezers. And we'll do the bottom. All right. Now the middle will get chopped up, so that is coming. But I need another piece of tape. The tape gets a little bit squirrely on me when it's long and freshly cut. Oh, I need to lay down the second straight section here. And that's going through the same section of window. Here, let me move my thumb so you can see. It's going through the same section of window here as it is over here. So that tells me that it's pretty close side to side as far as its alignment. So that's a good sign that things are going the right way. Ken says, Andrew, I sent you 2 links in Discord. All right. Please hold while I check out these links in Discord. Okay, let's see. What is Mega Block Star Trek, the original series transporter room? Oh, very cool. And Mega Block Star Trek, the original series USS Enterprise. Oh, cool. Yeah, Mega Bloks. It's too bad Lego does not have the Star Trek license. That would be cool to have some actual Lego Star Trek stuff. I'm gonna move this over again. Ken says she's a moderator, Donnie, and she'll kick you out, Donnie, if you misbehave. What's nice is once I get this section Aztec, I'll be able to take up these window masks and see those nice big windows up front. This is really fiddly work. But it's going to look really good when it's all done. Sometimes I just have to lay it down and then slightly adjust it once it's tacked down a little bit, just to get that alignment as perfect as I can. Donnie says me misbehave. I would never. Dennis says, question, I ordered the Tommy refit Enterprise, which I should be getting in October. I want to encase it, but I have no clue what's available for a model that size. Recommendations? I don't know the size of the Tommy refit. Some of the other people here would know better. But you can get some commercially made acrylic covers and then make a base that will fit on top of once you have your measurements. Or you can have an acrylic cover made to the size specifications that you need. You'd have to find a local company probably that would be able to do that for you, which you should be able to. There are companies that do that. You just need to find something locally that'll do that. But try to see if you can find something pre-made that will fit, and then make a base that will sit onto. If you're looking for that, but some guys might have better solutions for you. Donnie says, I think it's around 350 scale. And there you go. Todd's got a link for you there. You can check that out. Yeah. Thanks, Todd. I'll leave that up on the screen for a few moments while I refill my tea. Earl Grey, hot. All right. Hopefully you caught that, and you can catch it in the chat if you need to. Todd says custom acrylic display cases on demand. Very cool. Very cool. All right. When I'm cutting this, I'm just putting the very end on, and I'm listening for the snap. I want it to cut the tape, but I don't want it to damage the paint underneath. So it's a bit of a delicate process. Fortunately, a lot of the painting we're doing in these sections covers up any kind of nicks that happen to come up. I do have a paint chip right about right about here. That's going to have to be taken care of, and it is on base area, so I'm going to have to give that a shot of base coat there. Probably touch it up first with a brush, and then just hit it with airbrushes afterwards, just to take care of that. Unfortunately, if it was on one of the other sections, it would be getting paint, color paint on top of that. So, and Dennis says, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, it's great to have the hive mind going on in the streams and be able to help each other out. Skull says, any idea of the dimensions of the refit, Todd? Well, Donnie was saying that he thinks that it's 350. So that should be roughly, but not exactly the same size as the 350 refit from round 2. However, I'm not making any claims of actually knowing, because I'd rather build the ships myself than buy something that's pre-made. So I generally don't pay a whole lot of attention to like the Tommy stuff and that kind of thing. I also don't have the budget for that stuff, so it's like I would not be able to commission somebody to build these things if I wasn't building them myself. But I'm quite happy that there's people willing to pay me to build them ships. And my wife is happy that they don't stick around when they're done. And that the hobby pays for itself. So. So getting these pinstripes down is... Hold on. Please stand by. Okay. Of course, it's AliExpress. Ken found a AliExpress knockoff Lego Enterprise refit. That's cool. When you're ordering things from AliExpress, I'm always a little concerned whether it'll actually get here or not. So far, everything I've ordered has come. And usually it's 0402 SMDs that I'm getting. No, not 04. No, sorry, it's the 2020 LED strips that I typically have to get from AliExpress. Here we go. Let's see. Todd says it's 34.29 by 16 by 11.15 inches. There you go. And Skull says thanks. Yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask about any of that pre-made stuff, and I'm also the wrong person to ask about any part work stuff. Trek Mods is in the stream. Merry Christmas, shipheads, he says. Merry Christmas to you as well. This is now the decompression from the busy Christmas day time of day. We've had our family Christmas. We've had our dinner. The cleanup is done. The kids are in bed. And I'm doing fiddly detail work to decompress. Here we go. I just need to nudge this section up a little bit, make sure it's all in line. There we go. And now I need to remove the sections in between where there's not supposed to be anything. Ken says if you scroll down on that link, Andrew, you can see the other ships they have. Cool. I will check that out a little more thoroughly. And people are saying Merry Christmas. Awesome. Perfect. So did anybody get anything cool for Christmas? Any models or modeling tools or any such thing? You can't hear it probably on the microphone, but there's this little click when I've cut through the tape bits. Oh, I didn't cut the bottom of that, I guess. Let's see. Todd says Francisco sent me a whole set of Wera screwdrivers. Happy days. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. Wera. Very cool, though. Donnie says, I got 2 weeks off work for Christmas. Well, that's 2 weeks you can spend building things and making YouTube content there, Donnie. And Ken says, Donnie got me a tracked thingy. Oh, the are you talking about the Secret Santa sci-fi tank that you got? Trek Mod says my daughter got a button press for Christmas and made me a pin with my Lego. With your logo. Very cool. Very cool. And Dennis says I got myself a 2-fan paint bay and air compressor for Christmas. Very nice. I would love, because it's doing the acrylics isn't a problem. But doing like priming this time of year is a bit of a tricky issue, because I can't just open up my big garage doors here in the shop to air the place out, or I can't paint outside because, well, we've got many inches of snow outside right now, and it's way too cold to have those big doors open. So kind of have to be very strategic in painting. So one day, the dream is to have a very nice sized ventilated walk-in paint booth to be able to do these projects. Because I mean, you can get the paint, like the paint booths on Amazon, that kind of a thing. But for a lot of the stuff I do, I like painting. I like priming the ships when they're fully assembled, and like that Enterprise D is huge because I am priming the parts independently on that to get before I put it together, but it will get a full primer coat once it's fully assembled. That assists in the light blocking process, because all those seams get fully light blocked with the primer in that stage. So what am I saying? Yeah. So one day, the dream would be a nice sized walk-in ventilated paint booth. Just because Canada, right? That did not cut properly. Now I have to relay this down. Let's see. Ken says, Ian got me a 116 scale M113 armored personal carrier, APC. Donnie says, breathing lacquer won't hurt. Wait, what was I talking about? Well, plus, I'm very cautious about ventilation when painting because I've got young kids around too, right? So. Yeah, it's coming along. Oh, that didn't work out. Took the whole piece with me. Realign it. It's definitely cut this time. There we go. And I'll zoom this in a little bit once I get all this these parts removed. There we go. All right. This pinstripe piece here just needs to be adjusted up a wee bit. There we go. Make sure the corners are all joined so we don't get paint leak. And make sure it's all pressed down. To avoid as much as possible, avoid getting paint in underneath. I mean, these pieces are so tiny. Sometimes you do get a little bit of paint. I don't mind it so much on the Aztec panels because it's actually cool because you get a slightly multicolored thing going on within the individual panel itself, which is really cool. But we want to avoid that as much as possible on the pinstriping. So. All right. There's that pinstriping done. And that's the only pinstriping on these front sections here. So I'm gonna zoom it in for you. And that's how it's looking with the 3M blue tape on there. This front piece looks a little wavery here on camera, but trust me, in person, I could probably just straighten that out a little bit. But in person, that's looking pretty straight, pretty lined up there. So let's see. Dash is in the chat. Dash says, hello, everybody. Welcome, Dash. Welcome to the stream. We're having some merry masking tonight. So if you look here, it looks like the tape goes above this line, but that's actually just a mark from when I cut it. So that'll get taken care of with the panel coloring that's going to go over top of this. All right. we're going to move up on the ship. And I've got 2. And actually, I'm going to show you the studio model again, but I want to have the second studio model photo open so I can just quickly flash back and forth between the 2. Just looking for that photo I want. Here we go. So yeah, I can easily go back and forth between the 2 here. Okay. Let me switch over. So here's the photo that I was showing you before. So we've taken care, and let me defacify myself here so you can see the whole thing. So we've done these 2 front sections here, and you can see how on the studio model that line whatever it's called, it cuts through transverses this window here, which we've got the same thing happening on the model, which is perfect. So we are going to move on to these sections here. And so I've also got this photo prepared so that we can see it from multiple vantage points here. But you can really tell on that the sun is really washing out the colors on this one here. So it's nice to have that secondary picture available because I can just see where those lines track so much easier on this particular photo. And these lines coming down here are always so fun to do. They're a bit of a challenge, but that's what we're here for. We're here for the challenge. And just to go over why I am taping these and not using the mask sections for this, because here are the masking sections for this. I am really struggling with any of the pinstriped masking on the masking sets. The problem I'm having, and I think it would be a little easier if these were cut in translucent vinyl so that you could see through it as you're placing it. I think that would be really helpful rather than the fully opaque black vinyl. So that might be a comment for Gary, which I have mentioned the translucent and how much easier it would be. But I'm finding lining these things up is very challenging. And the moment it touches the model, if you've misaligned it, you're done, because these teeny tiny pinstripes do not hold together and they run through the entire masking set. So that's one reason why I'm going back to taping these for anything that has the pinstripes. The masking for this section was beautiful. Saved me so much time because it just worked as a stencil. But any of this with the pinstriping, it's much more challenging using the masks. The second reason why I'm doing the tape on this rather than the masking set is because of the multicolor Aztec paneling that is present on the ship. So I want to try to reproduce that. And I haven't figured out a way to think through using the masking set that gives me the multi-tone Aztec panels. So maybe I can think that through, but it's for me, it's a lot easier right now to do these pinstriped sections with tape. Let's see. Ken says, just masking the ship along with 12 friends. Yeah. Everybody's keeping me company. Anyone tell him it's supposed to be red and green, not blue for Christmas? Talking about the tape. Well, 3M blue is what I got. So 3M blue is what we're using. And I find the 3M blue works really well for these really thin details, small detail things. It's got just the right amount of stick to it that it's not moving around, but it's not so much that you're pulling up any paint with it. So it works really well. Let's see. So are the lifeboats masked over, or they decals later on. At this size, I'm using the decals for the lifeboats, and the space has been provided in the masking set. And on the last one I did, I cut my own masks to mask off the sections, and I kind of framed this in with tape. But what I did last time was I scanned the decals, I brought them into the cutting program, and I cut the masks the same size as the decals, so that I'd have the exact right size for the decals to go over. So yes, the escape pods, the registry names, the pennants, that type of stuff are going to be decals. Plus, I've got all kinds of decals to do that I've made up myself and printed to do all these little tiny decal bits here. So you can see these markings. These tiny markings are like here, up here, over here, this one along here. Those are all over the surface of the ship. So I've created a whole bunch of those, and I just lay them down as I see them on the studio model. So those are decals as well. The sections back here, like this is all going to be painted. All of the hull plating basically is going to be painted. Now, I'm still considering painting all of the markings and stuff on the Enterprise D, the 650 Enterprise D. Depends. I haven't decided yet. I will probably go ahead and get decals from Keith anyway, and then I'll decide what I want to use. Now, Keith's decals from Cosmic Scale Models. Let me switch back over to where's my mouse? My mouse is on multiple screens. Here we go. Cosmic Scale Models. So the decal set that he's able to print using the UV printer, from what Lou was showing, looks really, really good. And Lou is a graphics guy and said that they are, in his phrase, chef's kiss. So I may go ahead and use the decals for the markings on the Ds. We'll see. I will know better once I get a set in my hands. But I'm gonna have to get Keith to print custom end of Christmas season. Brain not working. It's been a busy week. Words not wordifying. I'm going to need to get Keith to print custom escape pod hatches for the Enterprise Ds. One, because one is going to be a custom name and registry, and two, because I don't want repeating numbers. That just logically doesn't make sense. I know it's like that on the studio model, but it doesn't make logical sense that all the hatch numbers are repeating all over the ship. So I want individual hatch numbers. So I've already started redoing the artwork for the hatches and stuff. So I will probably get him to print the custom decals for the hatches, and he's going to do the custom name and registry stuff for me too, which is awesome. So probably, I would say there's a 75% chance I will go exclusively with the decals that Keith at Cosmic Scale Models provides for all those markings. Plus supplement with a lot of my own little stuff, because there is some little stuff on the D as well. All right. Go. And I've marked that comment, so I know where to pick up on comments after. All right, so we are looking at the front section here, and these lines, hopefully you can see where my mouse is here. Let me just zoom in a little bit to make it a little bit easier for you. All right, so these lines that come down here, it's hard to see on the picture, but there's a line, a pinstripe that starts at the top here, runs. No, sorry, it does not start at the top there. The one that starts at the top is the one that comes down further out. The one that is hugging the edge starts around here, comes straight down and is in line with this line here. Then this one that goes up to the corner is in line with this one here. So again, we're going to want to make sure that we get those lined up perfectly. So we're going to do some long stretches on those. So So let's make note that the line starts just past this window here, okay? So just past this window, which is, let me switch back here. Let me line this up and de-zoom so you can see a bit better. Everything is going to be in frame. Where's my favorite pointer device? Okay, so we've got these windows right here. Let me flip back to Studio Model. Here are those windows. Then we're going to grab this window and go just slightly behind it. So here's the 1 and the 3. There's that window slightly behind. So we're going to take it to about here, and we'll need to make sure that we do the same length on either side. So I'll do 1, and then I will grab a length off that one so I can do this one here. But we're going to take it from here all the way down to this corner, and we will actually, you know what, that's close enough. I'll just line that up. Yeah, I'll just line that up. So let me get a fresh piece of tape so that we have the length we need. And then I'll check the chat. I am running Songs Producer tonight, so I'm looking after the chat as well as building and everything. So let's see. Trek Mod says maybe 1 piece, then cut 5 of them. Sorry, I'm not sure which part you're referring to. Cut them at the gaps. Yeah. I was cutting them at the gaps up here. I think I'm just gonna line it up this time around. Save me a little bit of extra cutting. All right. So we're gonna start. Gets a little bit twisty here when it's freshly cut. Didn't quite get that laid down as I want. So we'll just lay it down again. I think I'm just gonna nudge that. Okay. Let me see if I can get that nudged in position exactly where I want it. Just a little nudge. That's looking better. So we're going to cut this off right about there. And it didn't cut. There we go. I heard the click that time. Now we're going to run a piece beside it here. not because a piece belongs here. But so that we can put it on the other side, and it's exactly the same size. So it goes exactly to the same point. At least that's the plan, right? There we go. Now I just need to line it up, lay it down. It's a little tiny piece of fuzz attached here. Don't want that on the model. And this piece is laying down a lot easier than the first piece did. Probably because it's pre-cut to size. There we go. All right, now let's throw on let me use the smaller piece I've got left over. And lay this one down. This one's going to need to be nudged into place a little bit. There we go. Give it a wee slice. Do the same on the other side. Wow, it's Christmas night, and we've got 15 people watching. That is amazing. Well, I figured if it'd be a great time to stream because I didn't think anybody else would be streaming. And people might be looking for something to participate in after all their Christmas Day stuff is done. All right. There we go. So we've got lines here, and then we've got the ones that line up on the front section here. Now we've got the long one. And this one I'm probably going to do one piece and cut. Just having some trouble getting the initial bit to lay down here properly. But I think I've got that this time. Now the model is much more narrow than the studio model. So that has to be taken into account. So you kind of have to make these subtle adjustments as you go to account for the fact that the saucer is just squished in on the sides. Ken says it's Christmas Day. Things have settled down. Now it's time to relax and watch Canadian Starships. Exactly. Here we go. It is a show about ships being built. All right. New piece. All right. Next piece. I'm just going to trim this piece off. Sometimes the very end gets a little wonky when it's just been cut. There we go. Eyeball the initial placement. We transect that window just slightly. Come about that close to that pinstripe. And then we work our way back to the point. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty close. Let me zoom in for you, so you can see how that's looking. Oh, the front little bit's coming up a bit. Let's make sure. Make sure that's just really well secured down. Although I'm going to need to redo this piece. And I didn't even have it in frame there. And let's see. Lots of ship jokes. Starship jokes. You notice he's still young, unlike us. He isn't wearing magnifier glasses yet. No, but I do need like progressive bifocals or something, because my up close vision with my glasses on isn't that great. So you'll see me taking my glasses off so that I can see it properly. So used to be I didn't have any problems looking at the up close stuff with my glasses on, which are for distance, but I can't. Things get blurry now with these glasses on, so I have to take them off to look up close. So yeah, there's that. I've got to get that looked at. All right, let me redo this. The reason I'm redoing this is because I didn't have the pinstripe down far enough. It slid up, which means it wouldn't have met up with the one that goes across. Let's see. Ian says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Just got home from the mother-in-law. Well, welcome home and welcome to the stream. Trek Mod says, Merry Christmas, Pit Stain Hobbies. I enjoy your channel. Oh, that's very nice. All right, let's see if I can get this laid down properly this time. What happened is it just slipped as I was pulling it, placing it, I mean. Probably when I was removing it from sticking to my my finger. Because even there, it traveled a little bit. If I lay it down like this, it should be a little more stable. Transect that window a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That's better down here. Now I can grab it with my fingers. It just stuck a little bit too much to my fingers. So bring this all the way back to that same point now. I'll just chop it off there. There we go. All right. Yeah, that's much better this time. Now cut the section in between. Like so. When I've got it close up like this, I really have to be a little bit more careful to keep the model in frame. There we go. And like that, it's all lined up. Looks pretty decently close both sides. Might just need to nudge this in a little bit. We'll see. But I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. Dash says, I have progressive glasses. It takes getting used to it first, but they are great. Yeah. I'd rather not have to take my glasses on and off while doing this work all the time. So I really need to get in just to see the eye doctor and get that taken care of. All right. There we go. That portion of it's taken care of. And now I need to do I need to connect these, but then I've got, let me switch back to the studio model here. So I need to connect these points on here, but then I need to do this line that goes all the way up here and then connects in with this line that comes around so that I can start getting, and the same on the other side. Then I can get these lines that go across here in place. And I'll probably run this, like these two lines, this line here all the way up, and I'll probably just chop it in between. That's working out really well. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, or zoom out a decent amount here so that you can see what I'm working on next. And I'm going to move, where's my mouse? There's my mouse. I'm going to move back to the bench view. There we go. All right. So cutting the next piece of pinstriping. Gotta say, most of the time I've got this pinstripe cutting down to a science. It's pretty much the same width each time. There's the odd time I'm not happy with the width of it, and I'll just recut it, discard it, and recut it. But most of the time it's pretty good. So I'm going pretty close here. Just leaving a little gap in between the two lines. And this is going almost all the way to the top. Roughly even distance between the two lines all the way up. I'm going to take it further than I need to, because then it's going to hook in and connect. I'm just going to cut that off and leave it sitting up in the air a little bit so I can maneuver that piece. We'll do the same on the other side. I think I've got enough length here to do that. So is everybody working on some model work tonight? Are you guys watching while you're working on something? What are you guys working on in your various shops and workspaces tonight? What is your post-Christmas celebration projects for the evening? Trek Mods is working on the Excelsior and is almost finished, he says. Awesome. Donnie says, I'm working on those metal slug minis for Ian. Very cool. Ken says, looking forward to seeing the next episode, Trek Mods. Very cool. Dash says, I'm sitting in the hospital room with my mom right now, getting ready to leave in a bit to go home. It's definitely a hard place and a hard situation to be in for Christmas. But glad we're able to give you something to watch while you're there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. All right. I'm going to reposition this camera just a little bit. Please stand by while we have a little bit of a nausea ride. There we go. Just so you can see the front end of the ship a little bit easier. Okay. So we're going to do curved bit here, right on the edge. The pin striping on the edge is typically the, you know what, I'm just going to do the whole thing here. No. I just took that off and it didn't need to. Dash says, better than watching basketball. I'll take your word for it. I'm not generally a sit down and watch sports kind of person unless it's live. As in person. As in I'm there in the arena watching. Phaser strips in the way, so I'll have to cut that from the top. There we go. Don't mind the silence while I'm concentrating here. Donnie, you do the tiny fiddly hand paint work. This is my tiny fiddly work. Doing tiny fiddly mask painting. Trekbot says, is it okay to not like hockey as a Canadian? I mean, it's okay not to like the Leafs as a Canadian. That's perfectly okay. There we go. It's coming along. Take some time, but it's coming along. Donnie says, shh, quiet everyone. Andrew's concentrating. Yeah, can't you see the smoke coming out? All right. Let's get a tea warm up with the tea, Earl Grey, hot. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing up here on this level, but I need some more. I need another piece of pinstriping cut. That's the wrong straight edge. Oh, there it is. There we go. All right. Just going to get rid of the end there. So without my glasses on, to see this up close, I know that a new chat just popped up because I saw the block of stuff move, but I can't see who it was or what they said or anything like that. I just know it's there. And it just moved again. I can see that in my peripheral. There we go. Put my glasses on and check. The only sport I like is prancercise. Okay. No idea. Donnie says, yeah, I like doing the tiny detail painting with a brush, still working on my masking tiny things skills. Hey, I've got the masking tiny things. You've got the hand painting thing down. So Donnie says, you are awesome at it though. Thank you so much. And your the bridge and conference room you painted look awesome. So working together to get the jobs done. Go. Now I just need to do these little tiny bits on the lower section. I think Dash pressed enter before finishing his thought. Probably because Dash is likely on a mobile device. Dash says, I'll take the ship with the blue pinstriping on it, not the Aztecing on it. I mean, it does look really cool when it's done up in the blue tape. Let me see if I can grab a picture here. What am I looking for? I never know which folder or which update video had the paint masking. Wasn't this one? It was probably the next, which me talking about this out loud means nothing to you because you can't see what I'm looking at. But yeah, this is what it eventually will look like when all this masking is done. This was the first one. And you can tell even here in this photo that I've gone very much more what's the word I'm looking for? Conservative in the gray tones here. But this is what it's going to look like more or less when it's all masked off. Yeah. There we go. All right. No, I lost that piece of tape. It's probably stuck to my hand somewhere. Well, this one over here is the one that was cut to size for this. I was just trying to make use of the offcut. Dash says, yes, my phone likes to send with my fat fingers. Donnie says, organize, Andrew, organize. Ian says, looks great, Andrew. And Dash says, yeah, Donnie, that's what I wonder with all of Todd's photos, how he keeps it all straight in his computer. Oh, you organize, Andrew, organize. You're referring to photos. Well, it's all organized. Each video update as I'm working on it, any photos I take of the progress are saved in a photo file in the, I thought I felt some tape. Nope. So the photos of in progress work as I'm taking them go into a photo file in the folder for the update I'm working on. So it's all orderly. It's just that I did this long ago enough now that I don't know what update. Well, I never know what update I did what in, right? So it's just I have to find the right update video to find the photographs that I'm looking for. If I just had all the photographs in a, I just hit my desk with my chair, so that's why the world started shaking. This camera though has great image stability on it, so it stays steady. Yeah, so I just have to go digging for it. It'd be better. It's a lot better than if it was all just random in one loose file of all the pictures. So. Oh, misplaced that. go. Slight adjustment, and we're good on that. Okay. Next up, let me grab the studio model here again. I've got to do the lines that are running. So there's two lines. So a line, let me get the pointer. A line that runs here up and a line that runs here up. So I need to get those ones in place. I should probably work on getting the one that swoops along here in place as well. That's probably my next one. That way I can join them up to it here. So let me get some, I've still got some length here. That's cut on an angle. I want that straight cut. Let's chop that off. And let me check the reference before I lay this down. We're going just past this grid line here. So we're going to say right about there. And we're going to follow this contour all the way around. With the tape being so thinly cut, it wraps around these corners nicely. It's just a matter of getting the placement right. Just going to adjust this one closer. It's going to go just past those windows. Like so. Join up to the other panel, get my hands out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm doing this straight on the studio model. It's curved, but I'm not going to be able to reproduce that curve on such a small scale, so it's going to be a 90-degree angle, and that's okay. In this case, that's 100% okie dokie. I promise I'll look at the chat here in a moment. This one in 90-degree. like so. That did not cut or stick. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that one again. There we go. Hopefully it cuts all the way this time. There it did. All right, let's look at chat. TrekMod says, being very new at this, I'm not very organized. I accidentally deleted most of my current video. Oh no. That's rough because it's hard to go back and redo, especially if it's stuff that you've been working on, like showing how you're doing something. That's just killer. Killer to the morale as a content creator. It's like either accidentally deleting your footage or your footage being corrupted, or forgetting to turn the microphone on before you record. I haven't had any corrupted data, but I have forgotten to turn the microphone off. I have accidentally deleted stuff. So I know how that feels. Generally for me, it's I'll forget to turn the microphone on and I'll record a whole clip and then I'll have to go back and do it again. But here's something that I do, and because I can actually show you if I get the right thing open here. Because I can throw it right up on screen. Here is, I'll turn off my face. Here's my Next Enterprise E update. And so I've got, so far I've got almost 12 minutes of video. And I mean, it starts as always. And this is Canadian Starships. We are building the 1400 scale Enterprise E's. Starts off with my standard intros and goes, welcome back. And then I've got all the various clips. So currently it is the end here. Oh, I'm in the wrong panel. So at the end, but I haven't shown the third ring in yet. How well these panels went down. But I'm not going to show every stage, or it'll take me forever. But so what I do here is I've already got 11 minutes and 54 or 55 seconds of the update done and edited. So what I end up doing is I edit as I go. So I film a clip, I transfer it over to the computer, I bring it right into DaVinci Resolve, and I add it to my timeline. And so I edit as I go, which has saved me so many times where if I've forgotten to turn the microphone on, then it's I know right away because I brought it in and I'm checking it all right away. If I leave all the editing to the end when I've got all the clips, and I find something early on where I didn't get the clip, or it didn't save properly, or I didn't get the audio or something like that, then if the whole thing's there ready to be edited and I find something early on, I just don't have the clip. I can't do it. But if I find it as I'm going, then I can go right back, because I haven't done anything else yet. I can go right back and I can pull that up again. I can redo the clip, and or even if I just don't like the way I did it, I can just go back and redo it, and then I can bring it in and replace the clip, whatever. So that's editing on as you go has saved me a lot of times. So yeah, that's what I do, and it saved me from having some of those issues. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I found it to be quite helpful. All right. I don't have enough length in pinstriping to do this next section, so I will need to cut myself another strip. Let's see. Trek Mod says it's a learning process for me. I do that too as I go. Yeah, it saved me a number of times editing as I go. All right, so we are going to be doing the stripes that go from here up to the top. We'll get both of those in. Then we're going to do this swoop and this swoop. And basically, I kind of just have to eyeball the placement of these swoops based on where the windows are located on the ship. So let's do that part. Sticky side down. The pinstriping tends to get a little bit all over the place. So I'm eyeballing the first one based on window locations. And then I will base the second one off of the first one. There we go. So maybe I should zoom this in a little bit so you can see how I'm doing this. So basically, I kind of looked at the window placement on the studio model and tried to line up as best I could to the windows on the kit here, which are not precise to the studio model. That's what you get with a 90s era AMT kit. But I'm lining up with this window there. And then I'm taking it straight back to this window here, just this side of that window there. So I'm using the reference points on the kit to make sure that it looks right with itself. Now, if you look at this and then you look at the studio model picture, you can already tell just how squished in the model kit is compared to the studio model. But so you just have to take some creative license in creating the lineups and getting it to look as close as possible. It'll never be exact because the model kit is not exact, but you just get it to look as good as you can get it. And then you kind of just have to eyeball this curve because you don't have anything to go off. That curve looks pretty good. I might just nudge things a little bit. And now the upper I'm actually going to do it lower here. I'm just going to parity the line I took above and bring it up like that. And I'm just eyeballing all of this alignment, and I just hope that it looks right when it's all done. But again, if you look at the studio model, the proportions with distances here aren't right on the model kit either. So shapes, distances, and stuff are way off on this kit. So you kind of have to take some creative license as you're laying this stuff down to get it to look as close as you can to the way the studio model was. So I'm just going to cut these now that I've got the swoop lines in place. Let's see. TrekMod says, thanks for taking the time to help me. I appreciate that. Yeah, no problem. That's what we're here for, the hive mind. I mean, not the you will be assimilated type of hive mind, but the sharing of knowledge and ideas and best practices and that kind of hive mind. All right. There we go. This one just needs to be trimmed off a little bit more. Some paint came up there, but that's going to be covered by the paint we're being put down, so I'm not worried about that. All right, well, that is the pinstriping on those middle sections. I still have all of this to pinstripe and all of this to pinstripe, and the same on the other side before I do anything else. But it is 11:01 p.m. Christmas night, and I have been live for 2 hours now, and who knows what time my kids are going to be up in the morning. So I am going to end the stream there. I think that this is looking really good. Happy with the progress that's been made. So thank you everyone for hanging out with me for a little while, for 2 hours or so. That is awesome. I'm going to switch back to Facecam here so I can talk to you. So yeah, thank you for spending 2 hours of your Christmas evening with me here on live stream. I hope that you've enjoyed the stream. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button. If you're new to my channel or you haven't done so yet, why not hit that subscribe button today? You'll make me very happy if you do, and it'll be a really nice Christmas present to see that counter go up a little bit. So thank you, everyone. My name is Andrew, and this has been Canadian Starships. Have a great rest of your Christmas, everyone.